Hey fam, you ain't ready for this.
It's big money, big cars, big moves. This muscle tone, brah, there ain't nothing to prove. The best breeds from the States to the outback. Keep your eyes peeled, guaranteed you gon' learn that. Beanstalk, big boss on lock. If a canine was God, it would be this dog.
Hello everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Muscletonebullys. So today we're heading over to Miami to hang out for the day. Probably gonna do a car event, probably do some shopping, on, and socialize. Fuse. So Fuse has not really been anywhere too far from the area, and microchips just came in. I would have microchipped him earlier, but today I'm gonna microchip him just to be safe. So Data Mars is the company I like to use the most for microchipping, and also bought a new scanner because the one I had, I don't know what happened to it during construction. It disappeared. So we bought a new scanner. We're gonna test that as well.
Hold on.
We rotate it, make sure the chip's out, we pull it out. Chip's gone, we make sure, yep, no bleeding, no nothing.
You have a scanner?
It's done properly. So we're gonna scan it to make sure it's working with the scanner. And it is working.
Nice.
Boom. Now we have a microchip. We're gonna let him out outside for potty for a little bit. And I gotta get one of the cars and find a sun pass. Sun pass what we use to cross on the alley to get to Miami without having to stop and pay. Saves us quite a bit of time. There's quite a few stops where you gotta pay. Fuse, come on, let's go. So, we're gonna walk around. Got a big project going on over here too as well. I'll show you guys. Let me see how I turn this camera over. Got a pond going down, being dug. All the rocks for it. So, it's a big project that's in the works. Hoping to teach Fuse to be able to swim in and out of it. So when we designed this particular pond, we made sure that it didn't just drop down. It graded down for about 6 feet into the pool, from 1 foot to 2 feet deep. This way, if he were to swim, he could crawl and walk out of the pond. Unlike the pool, which is really hard, we had to teach him to use the stairs. Obviously, there's no stairs in a pond. So that's a safety feature. If you guys are ever doing any construction and you have dogs and children, make sure that the kids can get out, make sure the dogs can get out by teaching them how to reach certain spots and crawl out of them. A dog drowns usually when it swims in a pool and doesn't know where the staircase is, or has no staircase to get out of because it's one of those old school pools. Those are the worst types of situation. All my dogs know how to swim. If your dog doesn't know how to swim, it's most likely because he has some sort of dwarfism or some sort of issue where his legs are not mobile enough to be able to swim. That's not something I would favor breeding in. Micro or standard or pocket should always have the proper structure to be able to swim properly. Very good exercise for the dog, especially here in Florida or California or anywhere in the heat. Very, very important. So let me get the sun pass and we'll be right back. So I got the sun pass and my wife is letting the dog out still. Still gives us a hard time to go potty. He wants to play all the time. He hasn't gotten the concept down yet that, you got a potty, but again, she's playing with him on the pavers. She gotta take him to the grass. Now it's a question of what car we're gonna take today. I want to take the SLS Black Series because there's a photo shoot going on, and I want to be park with all the hypercars, with the Corsacs and the Paganis and the Bugattis. The SLS fits more in that category, being it's over $1 million car. Lamborghini's not far from that in range, but I'm gonna take the Lamborghini, and the reason I'm gonna take the Lamborghini is because I got a little scratch on the front bumper that needs to be painted. I figured if I'm gonna damage it again, might as well, have another excuse to fix it. Because my wife's like, it's tiny, no one can see the scratch, no reason to spend money. She's probably right. All right, follow us. talk about the Data Mars microchip, and to why I select Data Mars and why I prefer it. It's a 15-digit microchip, so you guys may not know this, or you might. 15 digits is the international number of digits required for an international microchip. So let's just say that you use a basic American brand microchip that has a 9-digit. When you go to do your rabies, they attach the 9 digits to your rabies, and you go to travel to Europe. When they go to scan them overseas, they will not scan, they will not accept it, and they will reject the document. Matter of fact, you'll never make it that far because if the USDA knows what they're doing, believe it or not, some offices don't, they should not be able to stamp your papers unless you have a 15-digit microchip. Although I've had USDA stamp them with a 9-digit before and have the dog sent back from the UK. So this is a very important thing you guys should know. Always use a 15-digit microchip on the idea that you might travel to Europe with the dog, or you might sell the dog in Europe, and you don't want to have to microchip him and do the rabies again and waste more time, because it takes 21 days to 30 days after microchipping and rabies is done before the dog can travel. If you already have it done, you can get on a plane in the next couple of days and leave, as long as you get your USDA paper stamped. So that's the reason. Now let's discuss the events that are coming up. So we have Ohio coming up next for the stack off, which we're competing with. Let's discuss that for a minute. Everyone's asking me what dog I'm taking. So obviously I told you guys the most extreme dogs we have in the United States right now. Obviously Beanstalk and Tyrone that are overseas, and some other dogs that are in the UK. Those dogs are, you know, another level of mass like we have here in like Nemesis, Yuki. You know, Panda's catching up, Titan's catching up to those substance. Those are different level dogs than what you guys think extreme is. For example, you guys watched the last stack of a Judgment Day. 7, which is a standard height dog. 1 is a beautiful dog, beautiful extreme dog. Perfect example of what the standard should look like. Dogs like King Kong, Bean, Magoo, in the 80-some pound, 14, 15-inch tall dogs. They're in the pocket class. Perfect example of extreme dogs. Now, these are what I think the ideal dogs are. The reason for it is because they're grand champions, but yet they're extreme, and they outstack pretty much 99% of the dogs. But when you put these dogs next to a Beanstalk or a Nemesis or a Yuki, they look like a different breed. When I tell you guys Beanstalk is a little shorter than King Kong and about 4 inches wider, it's a big difference. 15, 17 more pounds on him. Nemesis is about the same, about 3 inches wider than King Kong, but a good 20 pounds bigger than King Kong. It might be slightly taller than King Kong, but not by much. So, you guys see these dogs and like, damn, that's an extreme dog. Yeah, it's an extreme dog, but not compared to these other levels. Now, for some of you don't realize how much 15 pound is on a 14-inch dog. Just think of the bodybuilding world. When you have the guys that are competing in the 212, they're massive. But when the big boys come out, 235, 240, 250, these are guys in the 5'9", 5'10", 6 foot. 15, 20 pounds on them, it's like double the size of men they are. So imagine that same type of weight on a dog as short as 15 inches or 14 inches. It's huge. It's crazy. When you guys go to the Judgment Day, and I want to see you all there, and you see one of these massive dogs I want to bring out, you're going to understand when we say we're the king of extremes, there's a reason for it. No one has dogs like that. We've had these dogs from the beginning. We use them as brood stock to produce dogs like Magoo, Casablanca, Bean, on and on and on and on. These dogs all came from either a parent or grandparent that was in those extreme substance size, or a great grandparent. I mean, we worked our way to those dogs. We keep them on hand, as I had said in 2019 or 2018, before Beanstalk was even born. We said we're gonna lose conformation for a little bit because the idea is to make another brood dog. We hadn't had one at the time, and it was before Nemesis. Any of these dogs were born, and that was the key to make more brood stock, and we did, to produce dogs from Beanstalk, because Beanstalk was our brood beast, Nemesis was our brood beast, Tyrone was another one of our brood beasts. To produce dogs like that, to get to King Kong again, and all these new dogs that we have coming up. So Fuse is another upcomer. He's off of King Kong. He's going to be, hopefully, in my calculation are correct, a more extreme and cleaner version than King Kong, making him the ultimate American bully. Is he going to be Nemesis size? If he does, I would be more than happy with that confirmation that he has, but I don't see that happening. Those puppies were twice his weight. Those dogs were twice his weight at that age. But he will be bigger than King Kong if my calculations are correct, and I'm 99% of the time I'm accurate on point. And he will be better structured than King Kong. So shorter back, better top line, better feet, better everything. So hopefully that's what we'll end up with. Now, Judgment Day is where you see our most massive extreme dogs. I'll be judging in Australia, representing Muscletone. I'll be seeing my partners over there, Jamie and Jerome, for the first time in person because I haven't met them yet. So there's going to be a lot of footage that we're going to do on our YouTube video, on our episodes during that period. We might have more than one episode come out from the Australia trip. When I'm judging there, I'm going to show Australia the difference between show, extreme, real American bully, and a brood extreme. And that's the idea. People need to understand the difference. And for those who are breeders out there who don't understand the idea of a brood stock and they think this and that, please understand this. We didn't get where we are by doing stupid things. We got where we are by strategy, planning, and breeding. And we didn't do it like anyone else did in the past. We did it based on trial and error on our end, which was very expensive and very costly. And I assure you, when I tell you this is the formula, this is the formula. Obviously, I've proved it not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4 times, but 400 or 500 times. There's no other breeder in the world that's produced this many extremes, and champions and grand champions, and never been defeated. And the reason for it is because I don't listen to others who claim they know what they're talking about, how to breed, when they don't have consistency in their own program in producing what I'm looking for. So I had to figure out on my own. It was not easy, and it's still a learning process. Every time I think I have the formula down packed, I discover something that I didn't know, and it adds to our formula, and we tweak it a little more, and it gets better every generation. So that's what we're going to be trying to display and explain every time I judge an event now. So there will be me judging and me explaining as well why this dog is good for this and why this dog is not good for that. These are the important aspects of me judging. It's not just I'm picking the winner, here's a trophy. No, there's going to be explanation and educational time. So if anyone's throwing an event, you guys need me to judge, there will be that added to the table to help everyone out. The next show I'm judging after Australia is going to be in the UK. Again, judging a stack off, doing the same type of explanation. Again, Muscletone will be present. Not my personal dogs from the States, but my Muscletone dogs from Europe. They will be present. Jacek should be there. I'm hoping Piotr will be there. I'm hoping Michael will be there. Alex in Russia cannot travel because of the war. Pray for him, guys. They need it. His daughter's in the military as well. So I'm hoping everyone else joins out of that place. Obviously, Ryan and Thomas will be already in the UK, so they'll be present. So everyone from Muscletone Europe will be hopefully present in the UK, England, London show. Contact Reese Nahar for more information on that event. That is November 3rd. And go back to Australia. Australia is October 20th is the show in Sydney, Australia. And the Ohio show is September 21st in Cleveland, Ohio. And that one you can contact Wade Elliott. So these are the 3 shows that we're going to be attending. The last and final will be the BKC Nationals. As usual, I will be bringing a show dog. I might surprise all of you and bring one of the extreme dogs out as well for a stack off or just for display. But it is the Nationals, and the Nationals about, the best in show. So we always bring the dog out for that to display, for marketing purposes. It's not about winning, it's about displaying our product, mingling with the people, seeing the competition, seeing what's out there, putting our hands on the dog. There's no way to grow if you don't get out and put hands on dogs and see them. And anyone who has a so-called named dog that doesn't show up to these big events, they most likely don't have a big name dog. They're just hiding behind a camera lens and videos. You have a big name dog that is an extreme stack-off dog or a great extreme ring dog. You show up at events, you compete. Win or lose, you show up so that people can see and put their hands on your dog. If you're not, you're 1, not doing yourself a favor. 2, you allow people to start to believe that your dog is not the hype that you claim that it is. This is is why we've always traveled with every single one of our dogs across the entire world. And that's why a lot of people will come to our camp and put their hands on our dog, because we're not hiding behind a lens, we're not hiding behind a computer, we're not hyping things that aren't true. Actually, when people see our dogs in person, they're always better than they are on video or on camera. So that concludes our episode for today. We'll give you some footage of the dog running around the show today, so stay tuned. So we just got to the Hardrock. Upstairs parking lot is going to be a photo shoot. So I have a mobile detailer that, you know, we called and are meeting us here. So they're washing the car. While we go inside, maybe get a drink at inside the casino, maybe play a little bit, and then come back out when the car's clean. Heading home, stopped to get some food, some Lebanese food on the way home. And my wife fell asleep on this post with the dog. She has no clue I'm standing here. She's completely out. This is hilarious. Hey!
Stop it!
What's up?
That's not funny.
Let's go, beautiful. Come on.